What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Kingdom of Heroes video. Okay, guys, so I just literally woke up and I got a bunch of DMs, everybody asking me what is the best place to farm XP and silver, which is currency. So I want to quickly make a video on that for you guys. Now, the thing is, I'm still new to the game myself, so I'm still kind of learning, but I do want to share with you what I've been doing and what's been working for me. Now, the one thing I can tell you right off the bat is the first thing you want to do is make as many 6 stars as possible. The more 6 stars you have on your team, the more power your team gets. And there's a lot of other reasons too, but I'm going to get into that in another video. For now, we're just going to say the more 6 stars, the better. Because this game has a lot of tactical value. And even when it comes to farming, sometimes the enemy will split up. So it won't just be like a cut and dry farm. You know, like most games where you just go in, you one-shot the enemy, and it's over. So element does matter in this game. Position does matter in this game. Position is actually very, very important in this game. One wrong, placed monster can actually change the whole outcome of a fight. But that's another video. Again, we're just going to go over what I think is the best places for you to farm your silver and XP. Now, as you can see, I've been playing the game about 4 days, and the only thing I've been focusing on is campaign and the rune dungeon. So first, let's go into the rune dungeon, because the thing with this rune dungeon is it actually drops pretty good XP and silver, especially because the runes sell for really good silver. And in most games that you're going to play, the rune dungeons and regular dungeons don't drop good XP for your heroes. This game is not like that. It actually drops only like 500 less than what the campaign is dropping. Now, I'm not doing all Conqueror yet. I am farming 1-1 Conqueror, which I will show you in a second. But I just 6-starred my Claudia. So I wanted to show you how much XP she's going to get here. And then we'll do a battle in 1-1 campaign, and we'll look at the difference here. Now, I know 1-7 is probably going to be the most efficient place for you guys to farm. The thing about it is, it's going to take you a while to get there. You're not going to be able to just start the game and start farming 1-7 Conqueror. So you have to get up to that. So the best thing I can say is when you start, building your 6 stars, you start building your fodder, you're going to hit a wall. And when you hit that wall, what you want to do is you want to go back one stage before you hit that wall, and then farm that stage until you get through the wall. And then as you get your unit stronger and you make more 6 stars, you'll be able to move through the campaign, which will eventually get you to 1-7 Conqueror. Now, the thing with this game is, like, even when you're facing the enemy, depending on what element your farmer is, depending on what element the enemy is, depends on the way the enemy is going to line up. Now, in some cases, if you have the right element, the enemy will kind of surround you. And then if you have an AoE damage dealer, she'll do an AoE hit, and she'll one-shot the enemy. In other cases, the enemy will split around, and then there's no way you're going to be able to one-shot it, because you're going to have one enemy over here and one enemy over here. And that's what's really making me enjoy the game, because there's so much tactical value and funness, we'll say. We'll make up my own word there. And it's just so intriguing, because even like with boss fights, with everything, like, it's all about positioning. And like I said, that one wrong position can actually throw your whole team, off route. So we have a lot to learn. We definitely have a lot to learn. But for this video, let's just stick to the best places to farm XP and silver. Now, Rune Dungeon is definitely one of them. I did want to share with you that F8, which is the dungeon we're in now, drops amazing stuff. I've gotten so many legendary runes already from it. I think I did 60 runs and I got 3 6-star legendary runes. So it's not like other games where you farm and you get nothing in return. This game actually rewards you for your farming, and that is the best feeling in the world. And it's like the more you grind, the more rewards you get. And I really feel like that's such good engagement for a gacha game. And I feel like a lot of other games kind of, let that go, where they say, well, if we give you too much, then, it's going to break the game. And, you're not going to want to play the game because you're going to have everything. But I think it's the opposite. I think this is going to be so much better, because everybody's going to have, equal shot at being number 1. And that really promotes, everybody playing your game and trying to get that number 1 spot. I mean, this game has records, it has books, you can see what your friends are doing, you can see what your friends are grinding, you can see how fast they're grinding. So it just makes you feel so involved in the game. Not to mention all the events that we went over yesterday. There's just so much engagement here. And yes, they do give a lot of stuff for free. They give you your first 2 LD Nat 5s for free. But I feel like that's really a good thing, because it's promoting you to want to sign in and play the game and want to progress, to get these new units and be able to compete at a, top tier level. It's not going to be one of those games where it's like there's, 50 top players in arena and then nobody else can break into those top 50 spots. Because I feel like even if you don't have the best, starting monsters, over time you're going to get them. And like I said, this game comes down to positioning. Like, you can block the player from moving. There's just so much stuff going on here. So it's just so much fun. And you guys know we're having so much fun on stream. But let's see here. Let's see how much XP we get from this battle now. And let's compare it to campaign 1-1. So now we got 4,500 here, okay? Now this is F8, which is the rune dungeon. And look at this already. We did one run. We got a 5-star legendary rune. I'm telling you guys, the drops are insane. You get a ton of summons and silver, and you can go to the shops. You can use your friendship points for like everything, not just summons. You can use it for energy. You can buy promo fairies. You can buy skill fairies, and it's just so nice to get rewarded for your grinding. It feels so good, and that's really what kind of hooked me into the game a few days ago. When I did the rune dungeon farming and I got so many legendary runes, I was like, that's it, I'm hooked. Like, I want to play this game. I'm hooked. I love the feeling of being rewarded, because sometimes in other games I will farm for a month and not get one rune that changes my account in any sort of way, or maybe not even get one legendary rune. So it is a great feeling. So we got 4,500 XP there. Now, along with these stages, going to drop silver as well. Now, the rune dungeon, you could sell your runes, which is going to give you more silver. But for what I'm seeing, eventually, when you can get there, 1-7 Conqueror is going to be the place you want to farm. Now, I can almost do it. I need 2 damage dealers to do it, though. Now that I 6-starred my Claudia, I can probably farm 7-1. Now, I'm 100% positive that the Rift is going to be the best place for you to farm your silver and XP, and that is going to be 7-1. And it's just something about the way the enemies line up. They kind of all swarm you. So it makes it really easy for you to do an AoE and just kill them all in one shot. Now, you're not going to get to this right away. Like I said, it's going to take you time. So don't think you're just going to start farming and you're just going to jump to 7-1. Like I said, the best thing for you to do is kind of like what I'm doing here. And like, let's say here, I hit a wall on 5. So I went back to 4 and I kept upgrading my units. Now, I've been doing 1-1 just for comparison for this video. So let's do a run here and let's see how much XP we get. And like I said, I think it's only a 500 difference. So once you get a couple 6-stars, you might actually be better just farming F8 in the beginning and just kind of using, 2 6-stars and then using your 4-stars or your 5-star, whatever it is you're going to 6-star next. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the most efficient way, but it kind of feels that way because you're going to be getting runes at the same time. And again, you're not going to be able to do this right away. You're going to have to farm some of the campaign, and you want to make as many 6-stars as possible, because the more 6-stars, the more team power you have, which is going to be more damage your damage dealer is going to do. And the thing with 1-1 here is the enemies kind of spread out, so it makes it really hard to one-shot them. And the one thing I noticed with the Rift is that they don't spread out, which I'm going to show you a run in the Rift normal in just a second here, so you can kind of see the difference. But for me, I kind of been farming here right now because it's my fastest farm, and I feel like I'm getting the same amount of XP that I would get from 1-7 hard. So you kind of just feel it out, see what your team can handle, see where your wall is, because you're definitely going to hit a wall. You always hit a wall when starting a gacha game, and you're going to have to backtrack a little bit. I know that doesn't, feel good, but you have to do it. You backtrack, you keep leveling up your units, and then you go back, a day or two later. And as you can see here, we got 5,000 XP, which is only 500 less than the rune dungeon, guys. So if you take into consideration what the rune sells for in that dungeon, or the matter of getting a 5-star or 6-star legendary rune, and now this rune sells for 5,000, that legendary rune probably sells for like 15. You're probably better off going straight to the rune dungeon like I did after you make 2 6-stars. I didn't go to the rune dungeon until I had 2 6-stars and I had my healer 5-star and maxed out, and then I moved to the rune dungeon. So you definitely want to do that first, because like I said, the stronger your team is, the faster the times are going to be, and the easier the runs are going to be for you. And then you could take that fourth slot and just put your food there, or whatever 4-star you're going to build next. Just stick that in the fourth slot, and then that will get XP as you're farming the dungeon at the same time. And I was actually quite amazed that the dungeons give so much XP, and it's not just that rune dungeon, it's pretty much all the dungeons. So let's do a run. I hit back, but let's do a run in 7-1 Conqueror, and let's kind of see how much XP we get. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to give you the most. I'm going to kind of put a good team here because I'm not going to be able to farm this with food, and that's kind of my point here. When you're first starting the game, you're not going to be able to farm this with one farmer. You're definitely going to need a stronger team until you get like those good premium runes. All right, yeah, so I did put Claudia. So as you can see, this is not going to be something you're farming early game. So let's try to do one on hard here, and let's see how much XP we get from it, because this is more realistic. Because like I said, I do think that's going to be the most XP. It's just not going to be achievable in your first 2 weeks of playing. So this is more about what you should do when you're starting the game, like what you should farm silver and XP wise. So I'm really going to stick to rune dungeon and pretty much hitting that wall, and wherever you hit that wall, you want to move back a stage and then farm that for your fodder, you know, to level up your 6 stars. And if it's not fast enough, you can go back a few levels, or you can just do like I'm doing and go to your fastest level, which for me, it's 1-1 Conqueror. And it's still giving me 5,000 XP per monster, which is only 500 less than the rune dungeon. So pretty much once I made my base 6 stars, I just jumped right into the rune dungeon because I'm getting a ton of runes. I'm getting a ton of silver. I mean, I hit almost 3 million silver yesterday just farming the rune dungeon and selling the bad runes, because you have to take into account that the runes do sell for more silver in the rune dungeon. And the reason this one is really good, 7-1, is because the monsters kind of hoard around you, and it makes it easier for you to be able to, you know, one-shot them. In other floors of the campaign, they tend to spread out a little bit, which makes it really hard for you to farm it fast. Now, I don't think you should worry about necessarily going fast, but just efficient. I would say efficient is the most important thing to keep in mind here. So you don't want to be losing battles or anything like that. So if you're losing, you definitely want to go back a couple stages, because you definitely hit a wall at that point. So let's see what kind of XP we get here. So 45. So we're actually getting more from 1-1 than we are getting from 1 hard 7. I think I got that right. So you really just got to see what you can do, see what your account can handle, and then just go with that. Now, just like any other game, let's go to the world map here. You're going to have, you know, all of these campaigns, and obviously as you go through the campaigns, you're going to get more XP and more silver, you know, for the higher level of campaign. But that's not necessarily the smartest thing, because your runs might be slower in some of them. The enemies might spread out different. Your farmer might be weaker. So you really just got to see what is the most efficient and go with that. So now, as far as the rifts go, this is a really good place to get silver and XP as well. You can farm this, you know, rich fairy forest. This is going to give you a ton of silver. You can only do this 5 times a day, but this gives you a lot of XP and a lot of silver. Same thing here. This guy drops, you know, XP frogs, and it gives you a lot of silver. You can also go into general here and see if you have any silver, you know, dungeons open that your guild leader can open for you. So let me just show you quick what I mean by that. Now, if you're in a guild, your guild leader can open the silver dungeon 2 times a week, I believe. Now, if you're in a newer guild, obviously it takes a lot of points to open these dungeons, so you probably won't see them right away. But as you can see, we're really close to opening our silver dungeon. I opened 2 last week. I'm going to try to open 2 again this week. You can also get the 4-star unit as well, but I don't think she's that important. I think silver is more important early game. So to all you guild leaders out there, open those silver rifts for your guildmates. They are really effective. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to cover it. Like, there's not too much for me to go over as far as, you know, the best place to farm silver and XP. So where I'm going to leave this is Rune Dungeon is probably the best place after you make a couple 6 stars, because it's just going to make your team stronger as far as team power goes. Before that, I'm just going to say you're pretty much going to go through this campaign and see what your team can handle and see what is running the fastest and most efficient. Now, I think for me, it's actually 3-1 would be my most efficient place, because I could do it on Conqueror. So let's see how much XP we get from this. And just like any other game, the higher the level campaign you do, the more silver and XP you're going to get. It's just like that in every game. It's just the way it works. So let's try to run this team here and see if we can do this. Now, the reason I do 1-1, which I showed you in the beginning, is because it's the fastest and most efficient for me right now. I mean, as I keep going through the game, obviously other, floors of the campaign are going to be more efficient for me. But the point I'm trying to like nail in here is that you got to just go with what you can handle and what is going to work for you. But all of these places drop really good silver and really good XP. So it just comes down to you doing some testing, seeing what your team can handle, and then just running with that. But you do want to make sure you make, 2 to 3 6-stars right away. Once you make those 2 to 3 6-stars, you can definitely jump into F8. And F8 is going to be a great place for you, to farm them up to 6-star before you get into F11. And you're going to get a ton of runes, a ton of silver, a ton of XP, and you're just going to love the game. As you can see, I'm loving the game. I have a huge smile on my face because it's just so much fun, and I love the tactical value. I love, being able to get rewarded for my farming. It just feels so good. So as you can see here, we got 5,700 XP, so that's 700 more than we got from 1-1. So I'll probably end up sticking with this now because that seems pretty efficient to me. But the thing is, if you're farming up actual food, like if I put my Efreet and 3 3-stars here, I don't think I'd be able to do this yet. But I know that I can do 1-1, which I'll show you real quick, and then we'll wrap this one up. So I just kind of want to show you guys like my thought process, in what campaign I'm picking and why I'm picking it, kind of. So for this one here, the reason I like this is because I can go like this on 1-1 here. I can put 3 foods in here. Let's go down to the 3-stars, and you can't put doubles of anything, even food. So that's another good thing about this game. There's no 1-second farming in this game. there's no 1-second late game dungeon runs. There's going to be none of that because they're just so smart the way they built the game that they don't allow you, to be able to just blow through the content and then, just be bored because there's no more content because you're literally doing 1-second dungeon runs. And it's, it's pretty much all of the gacha games that work this way. So it's just a good feeling to know that you actually get rewarded for your work and you're not going to be able to just blow through the content. You're actually going to have to think about it, strategize, and, work your way through it. As you can see here, my Efreet's doing fine. We're going to kill him, and then we're going to move on to the next stage. And now it's not the fastest, but I am leveling up 3 foods at once, only using my farmer. If I tried to do this in, 2-2 or 3-2 or 3-1, I don't think I'd be able to get the job done because I'm not strong enough yet. My runes aren't strong enough. Maybe I don't have the best farmer, but this seems to work best for me. So I'm going to stick with 1-1 as far as food farming goes. If you're actually farming up a team that you're already 6-starred, then you just want to go through the campaign and see which one you can handle and which one is the most efficient. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Now, I'm still learning myself. As I learn more on this, guys, I will come back to it and we will go over it again. But for now, I think this gets the point across on what you should be focusing on, as far as XP and silver goes. And just don't forget that you have these requests here. These give you silver. Your achievements give you silver. Your Kingdom Pass gives you silver and XP. Your requests, I think, give you XP and silver as well. I just said silver, but it also gives you XP in some of these. See down here, you get XP. So you just kind of keep an eye open, see what's available for that day, see what's going to give you the most XP and silver, and kind of just go for it. But just remember, before you go into the rune dungeon, you want to make sure you have a couple 6-stars because it's just going to give your team more power, which is going to make the runs a lot more efficient. So just keep that in mind before you start breaking into F8 because it does have really good drops. And that's pretty much where I am every single day right now. I'm just hitting F8, 100, 150 times a day, and my drops have been amazing. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. As always, if you want to follow me on Discord and Twitch, that is in the description. We always have the random giveaway going on. So make sure you're subbed to the channel, you're liking and commenting on all the videos to be a part of that. We're like literally 15 subs away from 1,000 subs on YouTube. So we're going to be doing a huge giveaway soon. And I'm so excited for it, and I can't wait for it. As always, I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.